Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, the Netherlands edition, where in the last episode, guys, we did some vast expansions to all of the vehicles. Oh my goodness me, that's pretty close. Into our company, we upgraded all the trains, planes, trams, trucks, buses, ships, all that jazz, to the current best versions of this era in the game. Now, I know you guys are saying in the last episode, Nick, you're going to have to do it again at some point. I know, I kind of understand that. But until we get the better and the final variations, this is what we're pretty much stuck with at the moment. So there will be another upgrade in the future. Everywhere seems to be making lots of money. We spent billions of big ones in the bank. And today we're going to be focusing on this region of the area. Now, before we get into it, I think we can all agree in the comment section of the last video right now what happened with the train loop, which is just here. There's some problems with this that we're going to fix. You guys were right, and I feel like I might have overextended slightly in trying to create that, and we'll come back to this in just a moment. But today, we are going to be expanding to all of these little towns on these islands dotted around. And basically, when we implemented the airport, I had to build all these train lines to bring passengers to and from it for the planes to make sense to fly here. Now, in doing so, we extended as far as Loo over here, and the train line can go a little bit further, which is going to end in Harlingen or Harlingen. I'm not quite sure you pronounce that. I'm going to assume it's Harlingen. And from Harlingen, what I could do, and I've thought about for quite some time, is building a harbour, very much like how we've got over here, and allowing us to then do passenger ships to Holland, to West, maybe to Texel, maybe to Den Helden, maybe to Den Uver, but also if we opened up a little dam slot in the dam, like how we've got over here with the bridge going over, I could then maybe have ships making their way to these harbours as well. Possibilities are pretty much endless, but it's mainly for... Oh, there's a third city there. I didn't see that one there. Mainly for these two to begin with, and we'll see how far we extend. So that's what we're going to be in today's episode, but before we do, we've got to fix this mess of a train loop that I tried to build in the last episode. So before we get into it, if you are enjoying the series, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new, so you get notified when more episodes do come out. Now, the idea of this train loop was pretty simple. Trains come in, unload, and then head out. That's as simple as it's going to be. Now, in the real world scenario, that could have worked, but I had one fundamental flaw, which means that this whole system was never going to work. And that is because I have two lines leading in. And one of the lines, could we have our ore line coming in orange and our coal line coming in grey. They go in, they can pick any platform, which is great. It meant I could unload 6 trains at once, realistically. But the problem was, on the way back out, going round the loop, the coal train has to cross over the ore train line. And that, and only for that reason... that's what I'm going to say anyway. It's failing. Now, if it was solely the the ore line doing this, it comes in on the right and then it exits on the left. That would have worked, but with the way that I've got it set up, it was never ever going to work. It's a bit of a nuisance. Now, I could build an underpass or an overpass to allow the coal trains to not have to kind of, touch the ore line. But that defeats the purpose of it. So I think what I'm going to do is just go back to my original design of just having them have 2 sets of platforms each, in and out. Very, very easy. This could have worked. And I tried to do something a little bit creative and OTT. And in the end, it slightly backfired solely because, and you can see right now, the coal train has to completely cross over the ore line, and then that defeats the purpose of how efficient a loop can be. It literally defeats the purpose of it. So what we're going to do then, boys, we're going to change things up. We're going to go back to our original setup right now. So if I choose the ore line, and I want the ore line to only use the platforms of what it runs directly into, which will be these middle ones here. So the ore line, your middle ones are 5 and 6. So it's already set on 5. So if I get rid of everything except 5 and 6, and also get rid of the waypoint to go around the loop, you're now back to normal. And then do the same for the coal line. And you need to be on 4 and 3. Okay, great stuff. So get rid of everything except from 4 and 3. Get rid of the waypoint. We're now back to normal. So what it now sets us up to do is have them come in, come out. They don't crisscross anyone else except themselves, okay? That's simply how it's going to work. And we do have a spare platform over there. In another world, I can add another set of 2 on and allow the coal to pick the first 2 and the ore to pick the second 2. But at the moment, I'm just going to leave it as it is because now we have to wait for the trains to get off the loop. That might take some time. That in itself might take a little bit of time right now. So I'll come back to this a little bit later. Hopefully when all the trains have now gotten themselves off the loop, I'll delete the loop and then we'll go back to normal. Because even the ore train, with how it was set up, has to cross over the coal line. Which, like I said, completely defeats the purpose of what I was trying to accomplish. But we live, we learn. I tried to do something a bit jazzy. I got a little bit overconfident. You guys completely agree with it in the comment section. We move on, boys. We move on. Anywho, let's take a look at this then. So in Harlingen, I don't know how to pronounce it. Harlingen is what I'm going to call it. We're going to basically build a train station that connects to a harbour. Now, if I just have it on the basis that we're only going to connect to Holland and West just over here for now, we'll just keep it like that. And then we'll extend others in the future. I want to set up a nice, beautiful little harbour. Now, we do have a shipping route that kind of comes through the area. So I am going to try and build a little bit of a harbour like we've got over here, which means it's going to slightly adjust the shipping route to what we currently have on the go. Very interesting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, because there's a little dip here, I might create the land to come out that way and try and match it where it looked like it runs like this and then bends in, but then that's all water as like a little dock, a dry dock area. But it's not a dry dock, but you know what I mean. I don't know why I said dry dock. I'm a fool. All right, brush size nice and big, strength nice and big. We'll go for the slightly... Which size do I go with? I think we might go for the smaller size. Yeah, we'll go for the smaller size. The land is quite high, so we've got to be a bit careful as well. So if I pick about... Oh, come on, land. There we go, this way. Bend it. And I'm going to try and mimic it going round. I will fine-tune it. Is to there too much? I think to there might be a bit too much. Oh, it's going really weird over here now, isn't it? Right, what I was going to do here is just kind of run that to there. To there's all good. Do you reckon that entry point's a bit too much? I could also widen that slightly. Now, it's a very long harbour, isn't it? It's a very long one. Very protected, might I add, but also quite long at the same time. But that's pretty fun. I like the idea of it. I like the design. Adds a bit of structure. And I could run the train line in this way. Oh, hold on. What's going on with my ships right now? Is it redirected? It has redirected the line, but I think the ships are hard-coded right now to go through it. Are they going to beach? Oh, no. Oh, no. They're going to beach, aren't they? Oh, no. I don't think this has ever happened to me in Transport Fever 2 before. Okay, they look like they're going to go through the land, which is also really weird. That's hilarious. That is hilarious in many, many ways. Right, I'm going to pause the game for a second because I'm going to end up deleting this. Deleting you. Okay, I'll keep that there. We will now, if I just run that level of terrain for the edge of the harbour, because that's where you have to connect up the road to it. There we go. And then what we'll have to do is have to smoothen it back slightly. But if I push it back quite a bit, I can then smoothen it all. Like this. We should actually go for the square on this one because it's a bit more solid. and have a better incline on the land. Better incline on the land. A bit funky on the edge there, but we'll solve that anyway. Right, back into play mode then. We'll get a passenger harbour now set up. Trying to pick the alignment we'll go with. I think there works. So we'll try there. Building wise, we're now going to overextend on the buildings. Just for the funsies. Oh, I'll do that one to there. So that's 2, a 2. So a 2, a 2, and a 2. Then we'll do another 2 more. Because you need 2 per dock landing. I had to try and think then what they were called. Like that. It does push us back a little bit tight there. So maybe going as far as I've just done is a bit too much. Do you reckon that's enough, or do you reckon that's too narrow? It feels a little bit too narrow now at this point, doesn't it? It kind of does. Right, let me go on the flattening tool. Right, I've pushed that out a bit so I can push this side back a bit more. Right, that could be a bit better, but I'll deal with it. I will deal with it. Right, last thing I'm going to do here is just sort out the land to there. Smoothie, smoothie, smoothie. And then we're going to run a road. I won't do all of the actual physical connections. I'll do it at the end there, and I'll do it at the end here. I'll throw in some there, throw in some there. I won't do... Oh, do you know what? I should have just done them all, shouldn't I? Why am I beating around the bush? Just get them all in. Just get them all in. We'll build the road now going across, and we'll try and then implement our beautiful little train station. So if I go to here, now is that a difference in height? It is slightly. I'll raise that ever so slightly. And then that should allow me to roll in. Okay, and I'm going to try and build my train station now just here. So trains, buildings, passenger. It does stick out more than I would like. So I don't know whether to go. No, we'll just go for this. This will be fine. We only need 2 tracks. I'll make it. But then again, the more I... Oh, this is going to be difficult because I'm going to have to eat into it. Let me try and attempt first a station, and what a train station would look like. Being the end one. So if I was to go here, it all comes down to the buildings. So passenger buildings, if I went really small, see, that could work. That's a bit too big. That is the right size. So if I was to go for, like, example, one there, I can squeeze one either side for it to make sense. Now, I'm going to delete that road. It's just tried to build itself. And we will go across like that. And then I'll use the bendy wendy to run into there. And... Alright, pull you out just to go directly through you. And I've just realised, I mean, it doesn't need to be high-speed train. It doesn't need to be, but it's more for the visual aesthetics. That then works. So it's got a harbour and a train station connect together. That's the important part of all of this. The harbour doesn't really connect to anywhere at the minute. Oh, that's because I don't have the landings. So now it connects a little bit, train station connects to a little bit more. I'll eventually have buses looping around anyway. But now we have the gateway to the islands, so to speak. So we've now got to connect this up to the actual main line and extend the main line to then being able to start bringing passengers over here. So it hasn't got to be a high-speed turn because they're slowing down. It is such a short journey anyway. And if I bring you out, and then if we extend these to there. All right, run you a bit more closer. Like I said, it's going to be a very minimal speed anyway. So it doesn't really mean anything to us. Well, that runs down to there. We've got to do the crisscross just here. Or not. I think because I've done it a little bit too close to the bend. There we go. We'll get the signals in right now while it's in my brain. Because normally I forget this stuff. And we'll do one there, one there. And I'll do one there, one there. All good, mate. All good. So that's perfect then. That is now perfect. Are these ships still going to run through it? When do they, like, update themselves? I'm not too sure. Some already have, I feel like, but some haven't. Okay, so let me get this line then. I think there's 2 lines that come into here. There is. So manage the line. So when it comes into Loo right now, we make it... So it'll be after that. So it goes to Loo. Wait, hold on. Even I'm confused. Back to there, which is here. So bam, 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 bam. And then bam, bam. Back into here. And then to there, and then back again. But we got to change how it approaches these stations now. So on this one, because it's on the right-hand side, we'll make it go to 3 and 4. And then this time in 1 and 2. And that should solve the issues, except there is a train here. Which I think all I've got to do, flick it around like that. We're back in business. And then at Harlingen, both platforms were all good. So then the other one, manage the line. So it only goes to the port area. So add station there and then back again. So when it comes into here for the first time, it's on 1 and 2. And then 3 and 4 on the way back in. And I'm going to say I did do the double slips. No, I didn't. There. What a noob. What a noob. What a noob. So that solves that then, but I have a suspicion I didn't put the both platforms on this one, did I? So, Harlingen. Yes. Right. So the train lines now extend to this town to where the harbour connects. Now, awkwardly, I could have had a road crossing. And I still can. So it just gives us a little bit extra for the harbour to connect to. So that works out in many ways. That does work out in many ways. So we should be happy with that. We should be happy with that. Apart from the ships going through the harbour, I'm not happy with that. But that works out for us anyway. And this town should have a little bit of a growth spurt now, as all of a sudden it's got 160%, 170% right now boost and bonuses from public transportation. And that number's actually increasing, so it should go even bigger as well. Right. Nice. Now, is my train... Before I add the boats and stuff, is my train line loop... Where is it? Clear yet? It's getting close, so what I'll do... We'll now delete going back to it. And then we'll get all the other harbours and stuff in. Right, we'll only go to there because there's a few more trains still to get off the line. There's still a few more to go. But we're back in business anyway. We're back in business anyway. Right, so let's get connected then to... Let's start with these two towns here. So we'll start with this one. And I reckon I build a nice little bay harbour section just here. So let's not go as crazy as I did before. Because I did go a little bit OTT. And let me first start with the elevation, the flatness. There, and then we'll just kind of come out a little bit. Now, I won't go OTT like the other one. A small one like that would work out. It still feels quite big, doesn't it? Compared to what I've done previously. Smoothie. Oh, is that because I smoothed the other ones? I think it would be, wouldn't it? Why can't I smooth that little chunk here? Oh, there we go. Is that literally what it is? It looks too chunky because I didn't smooth it. I mean, it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Right. I need to get the harbour in here then, so it's only going to be a small harbour. What happened then? Only going to be a small one. I'm trying to find the perfect alignment for it. I think I just need to slightly... smoothen that out a bit. And I'll go to about there. Right, so I'll do it 2 buildings wide. It doesn't need to be a big one, it's only a small town. I will give it a large landing though, you know, so we can get bigger ships. Right, I've got to build that there to connect you there, to delete you, to then drop the landing in. And quickly configure. So I have found that if you don't put the landing down first, and then you do this connection after, it's quicker to do than the actual putting the landing in after. That makes sense? It makes sense in my brain slightly anyway. Right, if I run that across to there, to where that connects. Oh, they've already gone around and connected it for me. I mean, I didn't really want you to do that, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. What I was going to do is kind of have this bend round. And then bring that out. Bend you in. And have that connect in there. So a little bit of a different kind of setup. I'll smoothen the area. Let me go big brush right now. Just so it becomes a little bit more builder friendly. And voila! The town can grow a little bit more. Has a small, beautiful little harbour. Right, same thing over here right now. Looking around it, where would the harbour make the most amount of sense? I mean, there would obviously be a good shout. bringing something off or something this way. Yeah. Off there and having it here. I think that might be the better shout for that, to be honest with you. So, flatten tool. We're going to come off. I feel like I'm too high still. Alright, run it down. Like that. We'll quickly smoothie. And there's our nice little harbour. So we'll flatten this area a bit more. So picking up the height of it as well. Running down. Get that to be on a slight diagonal. And then smoothing. Very good, very good. So this has been the easiest one so far by the looks of it. Right, put you there. Configure it. And buildings. I might go 4 on this one just for the fun of it. So delete you. Put these down. There we go. Delete. And before I actually put the actual landing connection in, you see how much quicker it is right now to place these down before the landing connection? Hilarious. Right. So let's connect this up to the town then. So we'll start with a road first, just leading up. So if I led that up going like that, and actually let me delete that now. So this road would slightly bend away. I'll bring that in like this. It's a better connection for the junction, that. And then do I have this run? Like this. And because there's a connection there, I'll run that in like that. So it connects to a little bit, but obviously a bus service will be greatly beneficial for these guys as well. Right then, so let's fast forward a little bit. Now these two towns, it's quite interesting, these two towns, if I'm being honest with you right now, because they're completely isolated. They have no form of growth. There's a 10% growth in this town, which is itself traveling to itself. There's 75 destinations it can travel to, which will probably get smaller now because I deleted some stuff. Holland, 80 for them, 10% growth. They've pretty much steady incline as the years have gone on, but they haven't really done much or gone very far. Now, we're about to implement public transportation, which, just like Harlingen went up 300%. You see where I'm going with this? So let's create a new line. And we'll go back and forth. Now this is called line 1, guys. You want to know why it's called line 1? Because I renamed all the lines. I told you I was going to do it. Everyone going in the comment section like last episode saying Nick hasn't renamed his lines. Fools, I've done it now. Leave me alone. Right, have I done something wrong here? What's happened? How has that happened? Right, there we go. There we go. And utilize both landings. Nice. And guess what, boys? I haven't renamed them yet. Oof. Right, let's get the shipyard in, which I might build it. You can't rotate them, which is really annoying. I'm going to place it there for the funsies. Now, what passenger boats are we utilizing now? We could actually do hovercrafts. They carry 20. These carry 150. Which is great. But is that a bit too big? Hovercrafts could be the way forward. So I might do 2 hovercrafts on each of these routes to begin with. So line 1, line 2. Let's see how we get on first. Now, obviously, it would be good to have a hovercraft going back and forth here as well. That kind of makes a bit of sense too. Nah, okay, we'll just let him do that first. And we'll see how busy it all becomes. So because of that now, we start to get public transportation numbers. So we've already gone to 30%. Now that number should drastically increase as time goes on. It should drastically increase, unless it's only accounting for the connections to the harbour and then what the harbour reach and not the actual train line. That could also be the downside of this, to be honest with you. It could only be taken into account what the harbour can reach and not the train station, where the train station can reach so many other places. But then again, we haven't really fully connected up over here, but then again, it doesn't really fully connect to the area. So if I was to then run, let's say, another road. Oh. That now gets a little bit closer in, but not enough to even do anything at the moment. How dare they? How dare they? But we'll see what happens anyway. This will take a little bit of time. It's only the start of... It's the start of our shipping run around this area. And I will eventually open up this and allow boats to kind of come in and out to access all of this area as well. I mean, there's so many cities on the waterfront that we could connect boats up to. It's kind of exciting. It really is exciting. Right, they finally got the trains off the loop. Yes, the last train is almost about to leave. So, undoing all my hard work in the last episode. It shows you how ineffective the loop would have been with them crisscrossing. If it's taken me this long just to get the trains off the loop. You know what I mean? It just goes to show how ineffective it actually is. Now, my problem's always been on this, that the ore gets delivered more than the coal. Now, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ore trains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coal trains. But the ore gets delivered more often, and I think that's mainly down to the fact that they can hold a higher speed. Yes, the line's longer, but I think because it's long, they can get up to a higher speed. So their average speed is a lot higher than the coal line, which allows them, weirdly, to cover more ground. Does that make sense? In such a short distance? It's a weird one, isn't it? It really is. It really is. So the time it takes the coal train to get from there to there at such a low speed with the amount of vehicles on the line, the ore trains have got the space and freedom to hurtle down, which means they can get there a lot quicker. It's a weird concept altogether, which is why I said about allowing the coal trains to maybe pick up 2 spots or to have 2 additional platforms for them. Because they do get beaten out 9 times out of 10. But then again, that's a coal train, that's an ore train, so it's still 1 for 1 there. It is still 1 for 1. I gotta wait for them to get back on it. So there's still some improvements to be had here, and there's still some stuff I'm gonna do. There is still some stuff we can kind of change about that. Right, that's now up to 140. The numbers have now updated. What about you? 60. Numbers, okay, the numbers are slow at updating right now, but these towns are going to go for a bit of a growth expansion. They really, really are. This town here right now, about to skyrocket through the roof. Harlingen. We got a bunch of people waiting as well, which is good to see. So things are working out for us. They really, really are. Train station here looking very busy. I might add an additional train now on these lines solely because it goes a little bit further. The other one, not so much, but I'll add an additional train anyway, just to improve the frequency. How is everywhere else looking? Because now we're giving them all a little bit more time. We can now see where the issues lie. So Haarlem to Harderwijk. That's actually quite a long line for only 2 trains. I'll add another one on that. The elevated train lines have taken a huge amount of slack off us as well. But also, since upgrading all the capacities, there's less and less places now complaining about the amount of people here. So Haarlem to Harderwijk, do you know what? I just added an additional train. I'm going to add a second train on that. It does look pretty busy. It really does look busy right now. Look at this whole peninsula area here. This was like massive wide open gaps before. It's now all merged and it looks like one city, which is wild. Really wild. It's starting to look pretty good. And the cargo ships have also updated their routes as well, going around this harbour. Interesting. I wonder if I did create the opening here, would the cargo ships go this way instead? Or is that still the quicker route for them? Should we find out? I want to find out right now. I really want to find out. So, let me delete a... Actually, can I just... No, you can't select the gap. Let me delete a gap in it then. So, let's just use this point here then. So, if I deleted you, and what I'm going to do is the terrain right now, I'll do the circle one, the flatten. We'll flatten, a bit like what's just happened there, on the opposite side. We'll then get rid of all of this. It's kind of what's happened there anyway. Alright, just creating a little bit of a ball. I want it to look kind of almost identical in many ways. And let me delete back to you, delete back to you. Because obviously we want to implement how many lanes? 4 lanes. A bridge going over. So if I just bring this to there. And then from there to there. Right, but obviously we increased the height of it. Change the style of the bridge. How weird do I want it to look? I like the idea of that. That's not too bad. So if I implemented that there, does it change this shipping route at all? Oh, snap! It actually does. So they find that quicker than going around. Interesting. Now, why is that then? Because I would have said no. But if you look at it, they've got to go out, round, down. They could probably maintain a higher speed going this way because navigating through here and then going down here will really slow them down with them beating on the bobbin. But then when you look at it from this angle, it's short. I don't know how short. That's the issue. And I do like that bridge. It's a very interesting approach on the road. I might actually... have it swoop a bit better. It's a little bit better. I wouldn't say it's massive improvements, but it's a little bit better. Right, that opens us up then. So In theory, we could have passenger ships right now sailing their way through. Ooh. The possibilities. That's interesting. Yeah, that's kind of exciting, isn't it? That's kind of exciting. Right, let's just see for the last time then. Have they got the trains off? Where is it? I'm lost. I'm lost off this loop. Them trains are still waiting. And they will be waiting for some time. They will be waiting for some time, so I might first get rid of you. I'm going to force them to go through it. I forced them to go through it. There we go. There we go. So I won't be needing the big Chrissy Crossy. I won't be needing that. But that'll put the trains back on the line. Ore train. Ore train. Very good. I need more deliveries of coal coming in. So let me see if I can attempt... No, I can't add the extra one in. But I could make them share... Right, pause. Right. I'll explain myself in just a minute. I will explain myself in just a moment, guys. Hold on. Let me just sort this out. And... let me implement this. So if I deleted... Right, I'm going to delete to... Right, okay. I've got it in my head. I think I've got this in my head, how I want it to work. So that would go to there. So that would run... Right, and then run you to there. To there. Okay. Okay. That would run... Well, that doesn't really matter now because I'm going to do it here. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I've got the two lines running in. The ore line on the left can share these 3 tracks, which gives them 3 platforms. The coal line will share 3 tracks, which gives them 3 platforms. So it'll be ore. Then this one's coal. So at the minute, they've got 2 platforms they can unload at. Now they're going to get 3. So if I just set this up here, and if I do my double slippy slip, for example, here on this one and this 3, or not. Why is this now not working? Is it not? It's probably not long enough. Right, let me go from there to there then. There's too much curvature. What do you mean? Is stuff separating? Stuff might be separating here. And we might not be fully actually connected. So I bring you a bit further down. Bring you a little bit further down. There is curvature on the tracks though, isn't there? There is ever so slightly. I have a feeling something's broken here. There's something broken around here that they're not aligning like fundamentally correct. So let me completely wipe that out. And let's run off this one. Which means you run down to... Yeah, I can feel it already. It's just not snapping correct. Right, that is one strip. So do the same here. And that is the second strip. And then we'll connect it all to it after in a minute. Let me just implement my crissy-crossy double slip system. So if I went from there... Okay, there is such thing as also being a bit too long. There to there. Wait, is the construction not possible on 3 tracks? Or is it a case of I'm doing it way too long? It's actually not looking possible on 3 tracks. Oh, okay. The game doesn't like it when I try and do 3 tracks, which is fine. I just wish I knew that at the start. There probably is a way to do it on 3 tracks, but I just don't want to waste any time because this is taking up and sucking too much of my time as it is anyway. So you would run into there. You run into there. You're running into here. You're running into here. Which now I can delete a little bit further back. Because theoretically, this merges into there. You merge into there. And then we're just going to do your standard crisscross. Like that. Signals. Bam. Bam. And I've just got to sort these lines out. Okay, so it more than helps the coal line because it gives them an extra platform to unload on. So manage the line then. It will go to 3, 4, 5. The ore line starts at 6, 7, 8. Get rid of 5. Now, there's already a train on that, so I'm going to have to make that train come off it. So if I just did this real quick to get that train off that line. So it'll... Which train's stopping? Oh, that can go up to that signal. So once that's passed then, we then allow us to have up to 3 coal trains unloading at once. It's not great, guys. I'm just trying to simply make this bad situation a bit more effective. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make the best of a bad bunch, as they say. No one says that, but you know what I mean. And off we go. And off we go. So having an extra platform takes an extra train off the line. You could argue I've got too many coal trains. And their average speed and wait time is a lot lower. So I've slightly, hopefully, improved it by adding an extra platform. And the same thing works going back in as well. Maybe extra platforms there. But I could just, in reality, just have too many trains. Whereas the coal, the speed that the ore trains hold, they're able just to kind of flow multiples in with relative ease. So my next question would be, boys, do I have too many coal trains that it's making the overall speed limit a lot lower? And in theory, the longer ore line is benefiting it because it can obviously maintain the speed. Probably. But we'll end it here anyway, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. We've got some fun shenanigans coming up right now with ships. So until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.